Hey, another shorter video today. I have a few longer videos that I'm still shooting and editing, as well as a few post-production audio gigs for my day job, but I'll be aiming to continue this weekly pace. This week, I wanted to talk about a common misconception that I see online pretty regularly, the definition and application of the term sidechaining. If you search sidechaining on sites like Google, YouTube, or Reddit, you'll get a lot of results that talk about things like sidechaining your bass to your kick, or sidechain compression for a cleaner mix, and most people describe sidechaining as synonymous with another term that is more technically accurate, ducking, like when you duck out of the way to avoid something, not like the waterfowl. The distinction between sidechaining and ducking is important for two reasons. One, when you use a volume automation tool like Cable Guy's Volume Shaper or Polyverse Gatekeeper, or even just manually automating the volume on the track, that's not the same thing as sidechain compression. It's accomplishing the same goal through a different avenue of attack. And two, sidechaining is way more than just volume ducking, and you can use it for a ton of creative and technical reasons. Here's the sidechain setup that you're probably familiar with. I have a kick drum and a bass line. If I pull up an oscilloscope and a spectrogram, we can see that when the kick and the bass play at the same time, the bass frequency range gets a little weird. If you're listening on headphones or good speakers, you'll probably hear that weird flabbiness that's characteristic with an incoherent bass signal. To solve that, I've put a compressor on the bass channel and used its built-in sidechain input, also called a key, to have the compressor respond to the amplitude of the kick rather than the bass. I've already set up the compressor to work with this particular kick-bass relationship, and you can see and hear that the kick's low end is much more clear, and our low end is much more consistent. The bass is ducking in volume from the compressor's activation. Now, if I use a tool like Gatekeeper, I could set up a similar sidechain key by sending it MIDI information. If my kick is consistent in its rhythm, I could also just have the Gatekeeper automatically duck when the kick would occur, which means I've decoupled the ducking from the action of the kick. That is definitively not sidechaining. This is a common technique in genres like house and techno to add tension to a section of music. The melodic elements start pumping despite there being no kick drum, and the audience can get hyped up when the kick finally enters. That's why I prefer to call this volume ducking and not sidechaining. Other effects have sidechain inputs as well. Abstracted away from the specific scenario of volume ducking, sidechaining just means that an effect on track A is responding not to the audio on track A, but to the audio on track B. Some effects will have this built in. For example, in Ableton, you can sidechain the various compressors, the standard compressor, the glue compressor, and the multiband dynamics effect, but you can also sidechain the gate and the auto filter, which would allow you to do things like layer a long sustained sample that only plays when the sidechain signal is present, or set up a pseudo wah pedal that follows along with the amplitude of another track. Your DAW or third-party plugins might offer similar or different options, and if you have access to an envelope follower modulation source, you can create your own sidechain and put on the fly. In this example, I've set up an envelope follower on this vocal sample so that the clap is only sent to this reverb when the sample plays, giving the vocals a noisy splash that gives it space and atmosphere. The world really is your oyster with sidechaining, so I encourage you to explore all the options and see what works. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to all my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support the channel and get your name on a list like this, then check the link in the description below. If you found this information useful, please consider dropping a like or leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel for more videos like this, hitting the bell to get notified when I upload new videos, or checking out my Discord community. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.